Thank you, Sue. And some of us are members of the Judiciary Committee here. I'm among them. And one of those people that comes here as a lawyer and a judge and an individual that has been on top of this situation and also traveled to Guantanamo Bay with me is Congressman Louie Gohmert of Texas, also a judge from Texas.
Thank you. I was also asked by the 9/11 Never Forget Coalition if I would read this statement on their behalf. Many of you have seen some of their statements. In talking with them yesterday, they asked that we read this. This is their statement. The 9/11 Never Forget Coalition is a group comprised of 9/11 families, first responders, and concerned Americans, and it's proud to support the efforts of these representatives to reverse Attorney General Eric Holder's decision to try Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the mastermind of the 9/11 attacks, along with 4 other co-conspirators in federal court. This decision is a national travesty. Make no mistake about it, KSM and the other terrorists were captured on the battlefields of the War of Terror. They were directly plotting further murders of American civilians and soldiers. Bringing them to trial in U.S. civilian courts grants them a platform to spew their hateful jihadist ideology, which will be used to recruit sympathetic Islamist radicals throughout the world. They and their lawyers will exploit every legal loophole in the book and directly mock the victims of 9/11 before a worldwide audience. Further, there is no guarantee of conviction for these terrorists who originally sought guilty pleas. This is not right, and it is not acceptable. These individuals are war criminals, and they should be tried as such. We urge all Americans outraged by this decision to raise their voices to their elected officials. We ask everyone to join our national campaign, War Courts for War Criminals, on the website 911neverforget.us, 911neverforget.us, to fight this decision all the way. Also, I've talked with the former Attorney General McCarthy, who has also been quite direct in his comments about what a mistake this is, but I will not need to speak for him. He had mentioned that he has done an extensive interview that will be aired tomorrow night on Sean Hannity's show. For those of you who have not read the declassified pleading filed by Khalid Sheikh Mohammed earlier this year, let me just read you a few of his own words. He's the one that prepared this document himself. He's very smart. He does a good job of interpretation. He says, and these are his words, "So our religion is a religion of fear and terror to the enemies of God, the Jews, Christians, and pagans. With God's willing, we are terrorists to the bone. So many thanks to God. The Arab poet has stated, we will terrorize you as long as we live with swords, fire, and airplanes." And you ought to get the full 6-page document. The first 3 pages, he mainly spews hate toward America. At the end, he says, "We fight you and destroy you and terrorize you. The jihad is God's cause and a great duty in our religion. We have news for you. The news is you will be greatly defeated in Afghanistan, Iraq, and that America will fall politically, militarily, and economically. Your end is very near, and your fall will be just as the fall of the towers on the blessed 9/11 day." These were acts of war, and for those of you who were not required to study war and its history, let me just give you a nutshell history. When one group or one country declares war on another, and prisoners are captured during that war, the tradition is you hold them until those people admit they're no longer at war, and then you release them to go back, except for those that you suspect of having committed war crimes. Then you bring them, if you're a very advanced civilized nation, you bring them to military commission type tribunals. That's the history of things. This is a whole new precedent that's being set. It is a destructive precedent, and the message being sent around the world will not be helped. And when you think about it, I believe I know the heart of this administration. They really believe if we show how nice we are to people like Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, who are determined to see the United States fall, then they'll be impressed with how sweet and nice we are, and they'll back off. But the fact is, You look at the president who has committed troops more times to help more Muslims in the world than any other president. It was President Bill Clinton. And in return, what was being done? The entire time he was putting our service members at risk to aid and help and protect and save Muslims around the world. They were plotting 9/11. These people are at war with us. We have to respond in kind. And that's why, and by the way, those of you who inappropriately use the terms in the media, as has been in the past, enemy combatant, that was changed this year by legislation. It is now alien, unprivileged, enemy belligerent. We tried to soften that apparently a little bit. That is now the term in the Military Commissions Act. And I'm concerned that the word, and John Shattuck brought this out, is the word enemy too offensive? Should we maybe lessen that to misunderstood or something? But nonetheless, Bill 4127 would say that any alien, unprivileged, enemy belligerent must only be tried in a military commission. That is a tradition worth saving. Thank you.
Thank you, Louie.